What is the secret to unlocking your full potential? What makes your idols any different than you? How do you become the person you've always wanted to be in life? This is where you get all of your questions answered. My name is Justin Shank, and I sit down with some of the most epic individuals who are changing the world with their actions in business and in life. We discuss how they did it, why they pushed themselves, and more importantly, how they were able to focus on continuous growth to achieve their dreams. Welcome to the Growth Now movement. First, before we dive into the episode, I wanted to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. I love the fact that an episode is releasing on this day because it's my favorite day of the year. Hopefully you guys are with the family, surrounded around your phone, listening to this. This episode is a little bit different. Usually what I do is I do deep dives with people and I get to know their story, and we do some of that in this interview. But what happens here is Arthur actually coaches me in the way that he coaches his clients. So let me tell you a little bit about this week's guest. His name is Arthur Joseph. He is the founder and chairman of the Vocal Awareness Institute. Arthur's widely recognized as one of the world's foremost communication strategists and authorities on the human voice. His voice and leadership training program teaches communication mastery through a disciplined regimen of specific techniques designed to cultivate an embodied and enhanced leadership presence and personal presence. He's coached people like Angelina Jolie, Sean Connery, Tony Robbins, Stephen Convoy, Jerry Rice, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and many, many more. I think you guys are going to love this episode. You're going to love what Arthur's all about and how he's teach these top performers, and then how he teaches me to find my voice. This conversation was really, really cool. It was really, really challenging. I had a great time chatting with him, and I think you guys are going to love this episode. But before we get there, just a quick reminder to grab your tickets for Growth Now Movement Live. Guys, I am telling you that surrounding yourself with the right people, getting to these events, learning and growing, and then implementing is the only way to reach your goals. That is why I put this event together. It is for you. So go to gnmlive.com. You can learn from all the incredible speakers. gnmlive.com. Grab your tickets. They are going fast. I cannot wait to see you guys there and connect. Now, without further ado, I give to you Arthur Joseph. Arthur, welcome to the Growth Now movement, man.
Oh, so happy to be on this call with you.
Yeah, it's when I dove into your story, I was like, this conversation is going to be a lot of fun, not only from the standpoint of your own personal growth, but from the standpoint of I get a free coaching session from like the master, the guy who is teaching the world. We're talking Arnold Schwarzenegger and Quincy Jones, and I don't even know who else, Ken Rosenthal, Angelina Jolie. I jotted down a couple names. You've taught these people how to find their voice and how to create a message. And here we are having this conversation, and I can't wait, man. So just thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. And part of my mission statement says, I want to help all those I work with to achieve their own enlightenment and enjoy their own empowerment. And I teach that voice is power. Not big, bombastic voice, authentic voice. And when we own that voice, we own our power. So in your audience are clearly individuals who aspire to their own greatness. And you clearly, look at your wall of fame, not wall of shame. I mean, these are some of the most important thought leaders and personal development gurus on the planet. And they're part of your network. How significant is that?
Yeah. And you're a man who has created through his life and with working with people, you've created connections and partnerships with some of the top of all time thought leaders. So how important was it to you to find your authentic voice in order to make those friendships, business relationships, etc.?
It's fundamental, obviously. The roots of the word integrity and integration, Justin, mean wholeness. This is an ethical work. There's a real integrity, not just in who I am, but through what I do. And it's solidified with my rituals I teach communication mastery. And I'm a classical singer by training. I have a master's in voice. And I don't know one elite athlete. I've taught so many, can continue to teach so many. And I'm an artist in my own right, so I also teach great performers. I don't know one who doesn't have a ritual before they compete or perform. We know what the batter does every time he climbs in the batter's box. We know what the athlete does on the sideline or before they shoot their free throw, whatever it is. But what you don't see is behind the curtain, that earlier in the day there was prayer time. There was spiritual focus time. My day begins every single day for the last 50 plus years at 3 or 3:30 in the morning for 45 minutes to an hour of prayer and meditation. Because we can't just talk it, we've got to walk it. And so one of the things I'd like to share with your team today is what I call a mastery moment. How do you take whatever your spiritual practices, yoga or meditation or whatever, and apply it during your day, not just left over here to your practice and workout time.
Yeah.
But before you walk into that meeting, before you go into a social situation where you really want to be feeling your best, how do you create that mastery moment for yourself so you're in what I call conscious awareness?
Yeah, let's dive a little bit deeper into that because, I've spoken at events and sometimes you don't have that opportunity, or what we feel like we don't have that opportunity to be able to step away and kind of tap into it. So how do we make sure that we give ourselves the space or time, or even if we're not able to leave the room, how do we start to tap into that consciousness?
Brilliant question. Thank you. I'm so glad we're on video today. The podcasts that I do mostly are not video.
Yeah.
And I still do the same sorts of things, but this makes it so much more effective. So I'm going to role play with you right now. You already gave me permission. And sit at attention, please, Justin. Sit up tall. And notice you hold your breath.
Oh, I did hold my breath. Yeah.
Which is counterpoint to when you get in front of an audience. We feel tension. I hope they like me, but whatever it is. Now, with your right or left hand, watch how I do this first. I'm going to pull a thread from 3 inches below my navel, not like a push-up, but slowly and gracefully, right up to the middle of the top of my head. And I don't just stop here. I continue pulling like that. So do that slowly with me and notice the very first thing your body will do. Embody a man of stature. Taller, taller, hand down and stay in that position. Did you notice the first thing the body did?
I started to breathe.
That's what you did, exactly. When you sat up straight and sat at attention, you held your breath. I ask you to claim a man of stature, and the body inhales. You also notice how your chest opened, how your core engaged.
Yeah.
So now, and you just heard your pitch is different.
It is. This is crazy.
Now, I'm going to interject. Sociologists tell us the greatest fear in society is public speaking. That's bogus. But that's the bill of goods we've been fed for the last 60 plus years.
Yeah.
The greatest fear are actually 2 fears. Fear of abandonment and ownership of my power. Claiming who I am without approbation. I don't need anyone's permission to be who I am. So that little bit of, ooh, that's weird, or that little bit, it's subtly intimidating because all of a sudden, just from sitting differently, you feel and sound a bit more robust.
Right.
But why should it feel awkward? But it does because of the fear, oh, that seems a little whatever.
Yeah.
And so in vocal awareness, we confront all of this. May I use the word God, Justin?
Yes, absolutely.
So within yourself, not aloud, please take in the thought of saying thank you to God. Did you notice you inhaled?
Yeah.
Do you notice your internal and external space are quieter?
100%.
Yes. That's the first of our 7 rituals. Stature is preparation for everything we do. I teach mastery. Mastery is only achieved in any discipline when one integrates mind, body, spirit. It's not just great biomechanics.
Right.
That makes an elite athlete or a great artist. It's this integration of mind, body, spirit. So our first of the 7 rituals is to say thank you. The body inhales. Now, just sit in your space and relax. Kick back, Justin. Forget all the stature schmack. Tell me when you're relaxed and notice how you feel, man.
I'm relaxed. I feel extra relaxed. Like I feel very much just okay. Like no nerves, no nothing. I'm good.
Watch what's about to happen next.
Oh no.
Oh yes. No. Turn off your left brain. You don't need to empirically understand what I'm about to ask you to do. Just hear the words. Don't think about whom or what. Just feel what it might be like, Justin, to love and let go. Just hear the words loving and letting go. And what did you just do? Did you not inhale deeply that whole time?
I did.
Yes. I know, it's very bizarre.
It is very, very bizarre how this is just like, it's like connected to these emotions.
Yes. So when you relax, you just sort of relax. You felt comfortable. I got it. But this is deeper. It's more centered. You hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Feel it? Space is a little quieter, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the second ritual. But what's important about this, I put you in stature. We thank Source. We love and let go, which you don't even know what it means from a turnip, but the body still inhaled and intuited it. And the first thing the body did was breathe. It's the body's way of saying, Justin, thank you for giving me permission to be myself. I breathe to acknowledge that. And it awakens us to an understanding that the root of the word spirit, spiritu, simply means to breathe.
Mm.
I don't want to motivate your audience. I want to inspire them. I want to breathe into them. The Hebrew word neshama means both soul and breath. So this is mastery. And I don't want us to present who we are. I want us to be who we are and embody it in full conscious awareness. So before you could walk out while the audience is acknowledging you, or you're backstage, or you're in your seat as you're walking up, you're putting yourself in stature. You thank Source. You love and let go. You hit your mark, and now you've shifted to behavior. Back in the days, decades ago, when I first taught Tony Robbins, he would refer to my rituals as pattern interrupts. Said to break an old pattern, you have to exaggerate behavior to create a new.
Mm.
We're creating new neural pathways through vocal awareness. People ask me my target market. I say, heck, man, I sell air. We all have to breathe. We all have to communicate. Vocal awareness is the glue. One can study this or study that, but there is not a system that integrates it in our daily discourse as vocal awareness does. Speech is habit. We don't think about it. We just babble.
Yeah.
And particularly in your generation, it's what I call the fingers and thumbs generation, where you are actually losing the art of public discourse. And making eye contact and doing all this stuff is disquieting for many people.
Yes.
People are so used to interacting like that. So this is quite an important skill to have, because you're not going to text and type your way through the business world. Even if you work for Facebook or Google, you still got to talk to folks.
Right.
And so, very important, fundamental stuff. How are we doing today so far? You learning anything?
I've learned so much in the last 10 minutes. It's mind-blowing.
Tell me that again, and don't take your eyes off me, please. And before you begin, I want you to allow, I'm going to help you. It'll take 5 seconds. I want you to allow a slow, silent, here comes another bizarre concept, conscious, loving breath. Slowly and silently, at the apex, say what you're about to say, I've learned. In 3, deeper, here we go. Slowly, deeper, deeper, deeper. And your statement?
I've learned more in the last 10 minutes than I could ever imagine.
You feel and hear the difference?
Yeah.
Pitch is a little lower, isn't it?
Yes.
Your voice has a bit more presence. And as disquieting once again as that was, you're starting to listen to yourself. You noticed that, didn't you?
Yeah. I even if they listened at that time, I hesitated and pause to make sure what I was about to say made sense.
Yes. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Every public experience, i.e. this, a keynote, PowerPoint presentation, is a performance because someone is watching or listening. It is not a presentation. Complete misnomer. Present, perform. We've been taught that performing is inauthentic, presentation is genuine. Not. If you look up the root of the word present or presentation, it means to introduce formally, to bring before the public. Performance, perform, means to carry out, fulfill, to do. Someone is watching. Someone is listening. And I don't want in vocal awareness for us to merely be in charge of the message, but the messenger. It's not just what we say, it's how we say it. So when you're beginning to understand how by my tuning in, I have more control. Not over just what I'm saying, but how I want to be known. And if you had created what I call a persona statement. The root of the word persona is an Etruscan root word, which means through the sound. One's identity is largely conveyed through the sound of a voice and an opinion created in 3 seconds. Perception, reality. It never matters what's true in this context, only what we perceive it to be. That's how we buy things. That's how we sell stuff. That's how we vote. Perception, reality. So I want us to be in charge of how we want to be known. So if you had created a persona statement, what would a couple of aspirational adjectives possibly be? I want to be known as.
A leader.
Tell me that and see a period, please.
A leader.
See a period.
See it?
After the word leader.
A leader.
Ah, did you hear that?
Yeah. So it was not a question mark, it was a statement.
Right.
Wow.
What else? I know.
A movement maker.
See the period.
With a period. A movement maker.
Now, put in your mind's eye, put an accent over the A in maker and underline that word and see a period. What is the second one? You want to be?
Movement maker?
No.
Nope, losing it.
Write that down. Okay. I want to be known as a movement maker. And put an accent over the O in movement, an accent grave, that diagonal, and an accent over the A in maker. Underline the word maker and circle the period at the end, and please just read it. No, back into stature. In 5, 4, 3.
I want to be a movement maker.
No, please read it.
I want to be a movement maker.
Oh, my goodness.
It's really amazing. And I hope that people that are listening are understanding what's happening. Like this is so different from any episode I've ever done. And so the exercises, I'm hoping people are doing this at home, and understanding what we're working through.
Of course they will, but thanks for subliminally requesting it of them.
Yes.
And I have a theme in vocal awareness I write about in my last book. A champion does it differently. So you look up the root of the word champion, and it says dazzlingly skilled in any field. It is not sports-centric. I marry that word to the word audacious. A dear friend, client, an EVP of a global company gave me a book 3 years ago for my 70th birthday. And it was called The Audacity of Hoop. And it had a picture of President Obama on the cover in the Oval Office, coat and tie, holding a basketball behind his back. And it was his presidency and his life through the prism of 3-on-3 pickup basketball. And I asked some NBA clients of mine about playing 3-on-3 pickup. And they said, if you're doing that full court, you're intense, because that is a physical, intense sport. And so John, in his note to me in the book, said, Thank you for introducing me to the audacity of voice. And I said, John, to be audacious, we first have to believe in our own possibility. You're creating a movement, so that, of course, means that you believe in your own possibility. The root of the word audacious, daring, fearlessly bold, intrepid, courageous, heart. I teach myriad elite athletes in virtually any sport you can think of, including a sport years ago, motorcycle dragsters. So I've pretty much taught sports I've never even heard of before that.
Yeah.
And I have 20 students alone in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I share this because I say to every athlete in the first lesson, you bring your talent or your gift to the sport, but someone literally teaches you every single thing you do. Without that teaching, your ability is wasted. In vocal awareness, I'm pointing out in this moment, Justin, who teaches us to be ourselves?
Huh.
Feel the breath the body just took?
Yeah.
We don't realize how much work it actually takes to be ourselves while others watch. I don't know one artist, one athlete in the moment of performance or competition. Oh, I hope you all like me out in the audience. Oh, I hope my coaches approve. I was teaching Michael Irvin the other day. He is a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
I've heard of him.
And I was at the game on Thursday in Dallas. And I asked what I knew to be a rhetorical question because I was making a point in our lesson. I asked Michael, did you ever play one down with fear? One down in 13 seasons? Of course not. But he prepared himself so that when the performance moment arose, he was ready. But how many of us really rehearse being ourselves? Every great athlete, every great artist I know in the moment of performance or competition is what I call hubristic. You look up the word hubris and it means extreme arrogance, blaspheming the gods, nothing to aspire to. But in these elite performance moments, it's all about me. And if my thoughts get deflected by, ooh, what are they thinking? Ooh, how am I doing? Now I'm in the white noise and I'm in that abandonment stuff I mentioned earlier.
Right.
So in vocal awareness, I teach us that hubris without arrogance is positive. Claiming ourselves, when I said voice is power, when we own our voice, we own our power. Now this makes more sense.
Yeah.
We get all these mixed messages growing up, us mere mortals out here. Oh, you shouldn't act like that. What will people think? Oh, don't say that. You sound arrogant. So if I say, Justin, vocal awareness is extraordinary work. It can help you change your life in moments. Now, that's stupid and arrogant. You would hope I'd acknowledge. But if I say in response, Justin, vocal awareness is extraordinary work. It can help you change your life in moments. That's not arrogant. That's
right.
mighty. So what you're experiencing right now is it doesn't matter what anybody else is thinking. And you're never going to know anyway because you can't read their minds. So our work is designed to help you embody all of whom you desire yourself to be. A leader, the maker of a movement. You have your mantra there for your growth movement. What did you write down?
It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters are the decisions you make today to create the best future for yourself.
So, put a CLB in front of that sentence for conscious loving breath. Write it down, please. Put a comma after from and a check mark. Check mark is for breathing. Continue. What else did you say?
What matters are the decisions you make today to create the best future for yourself.
Okay. What matters is are the decisions you make today, dash, check mark, and then put an exclamation point at the end. Now, let me hear it again slowly because I want to put more marks in. What's the first part before the comma?
It doesn't matter where you come from.
Okay. Put an accent grave on the O in doesn't. It doesn't matter where you come from on the O and come. Next part.
What matters are the decisions you make today.
What matters are the decisions you make today. Underline today and an accent over the A. The next part.
To create the best future for yourself.
To create the best future. Underline best future. Put an accent over the E in best. Underline the T in best. Put a downbeat over the U, the accent in future. And for yourself. Underline S. Underline self. And now at the top right, may I give you a thought?
Yes.
I am extraordinary. And above that, put an S for stature. And above that, TG for thank God. And then I'm going to ask you to draw this little image. Right through that sentence.
Through the whole thing?
Just diagonally right through the middle of it.
So for the people listening, it's a dot with a line from the bottom left to the top right with an arrow pointing.
Good, thank you. When you're ready, do everything. Oh, and we'll add one more wrinkle.
You want me to do that?
Mm-hmm. Really good. Now with your right or left hand, do this at the same time. And notice what your core will do. First, put yourself in stature. In 3. And as I made you do that, you feel your core contract?
Yes.
Now, that's the other thing you would do is you walk up to the stage without having to hang your arm out for everybody. But it's called finding the hub of the voice. And where the pitch ends up, you begin speaking.
It's interesting.
In 3, your sentence. 2.
It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters are the decisions you make today to create the best future for yourself.
Let's do it again now that you're comfortable. That was quite lovely. Didn't that feel kind of interesting?
It felt a little uncomfortable.
Yes.
Just because it's not how I'm used to saying it.
Yes. But now I'm going to guide you out here, and we're just going to move it along. Okay. In 3, 2, look at it just to get a reference.
It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters are the decisions you make today to create the best future for yourself.
So how did that begin to feel?
It felt much more natural. I wasn't worried about the breaks and so on and so forth.
Right. And for your listening audience, I'm conducting you like a crazy third base coach.
And I was a little fast. Just so you know, the tempo of myself was a little fast.
Not for me.
Oh, good.
You tend to speak very quickly, but that was a good pace. Because in our public performance, we don't ever want to sound perfect or that we are presenting. We must appear natural. So I was moving the energy along. I was moving your tempo. But because you had some visual annotation there, you know when to breathe, you know what word to emphasize, ... Does that make empirical sense?
Yeah, absolutely. My voice has also dropped an octave during this interview.
Yeah. And get comfortable with it because this is your voice.
It's very because I have headphones in, I can hear myself a little bit better than I would if I didn't have them in. It's very strange.
Is it a likable very strange?
I'm just not used to it. It's just different.
Would you rather sound like this though and talk that way?
Well, no. Is that how I sounded before? Like right now?
Well, I'm exaggerating. Yes. I almost got a nosebleed from the altitude. Totally playing. But it does bring up an important point. I want to read something. Let me get my book here.
Absolutely.
Do you have a stopwatch on your phone handy?
I actually don't even have my phone on me.
Okay. Well, then I can't do the exercise. So,
is there a stopwatch on a computer?
I'm the Cro-Magnon man of technology. I don't have a clue.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hold on. Let me go grab my phone. I'll be right back.
And we all got to see a really cool chair and more of your wall. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's not as interesting as your wall, though. I like all the artifacts.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm ready with a stopwatch.
3, 2, 1. I'm going to do this exercise 4 times and time me each time.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
When we undervoice, when our power generation, phone music until discover your unique voice, period.
4.69 seconds.
3 more.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go.
When we own our voice, we own our power, Joseph writes. Vocal leadership gives you the tools to discover your unique voice, period.
This is the worst part. I didn't reset it. I thought I was going to add a second one. So let's try again. Second time. 1, 2, 3, go.
When we own our voice, we own our power, Joseph writes. Vocal leadership gives you the tools to discover your unique voice.
6.28 seconds.
2 more.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. 7.25 seconds. There might have been a delay because I couldn't hear you.
And the last one.
1, 2, 3, go.
When we own our voice, we own our power, Joseph writes. Vocal leadership gives you the tools to discover your unique voice.
7.88 seconds.
Now, the first one wasn't 4 seconds better because it was 4 seconds faster. Nothing in communication is gained by going too fast, but potentially everything is lost. Understanding, confidence, ... The third and fourth one third one was a cartoon like the first one was. And give or take a couple of hundredths of a second, the same time as the last. The last one, longest, wasn't slow, it was appropriate. The third and fourth one identify we've got a finite amount of time and space. I have a 15-minute presentation. I have an X number of minute podcast, whatever it is. It's how I use the energy in that time and space I have to work on. So in vocal awareness, we are very, very strategic about how we communicate. And it's not how fast, it is only how effective. And that's really, really important, especially to your audience, because we don't think about these things. So imagine as your listeners learn from this, and they take this back into their workspace, they take this onto their own podcast, you embed it in yours. Now all of a sudden, I become more compelling. We don't just drop a rock in the water, Justin, and it sinks to the bottom. We drop a rock in the water and it sends concentric rings across the surface of the pond, touching everything. This concept of growth now, you're building a movement. What I'm introducing you to today is how you can embed within that movement a whole other construct that helps us own who we are as we build and as we join. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Tell me that again, that word, and see a downbeat over the U with a period.
Absolutely.
Now the word sounds like it means something. So voice, like those rings on the surface of the pond, is vibration. It's energy. So in your movement, we're creating an opportunity to induct even more people through the way we communicate who we are and what it is we have to say.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, this episode, this interview, has been so different from anything that we've ever had.
I hope it's been worthwhile at the same time.
Absolutely. The lessons that were taught here, even for me, have been completely life-changing in the way that we approach all of our conversations, not just when we're overly thinking about what we are saying, if that makes sense.
And as you were just finishing, again, a little third base coaching, hand to the air, my fingernail on the edge of my top lip, and you tuned in more effectively to yourself. Mm-hmm. I have 7 rituals. The 6th one is pay attention, deeper listening, paying attention out here, listening internally inside, always staying dialed in, always staying dialed in. That was exquisite the way that you did that, and you really are allowing me to teach. And I so respect and appreciate that because I know what it takes. And thank you for letting me barge in and do these things with you.
No, thank you. To be coached by a man who has coached some of the world's top leaders, athletes, speakers, politicians, and the like, it's an honor for me. So thank you.
And what, for your audience who isn't watching, a couple of times I've motioned with maintain eye contact with me. Because when we make eye contact with another person, it literally changes the sound of the voice. But going back to the Tony teaching, it also breaks a pattern. I know we all do that, but I don't want us to unless we choose to. This is just a behavior.
Right.
It's not a choice. So I want us to make choices, and because we're socially conditioned, I obviously don't come up for air. I babble forever and ever, and you're socially conditioned to look. But the moment you go to share your thought, you look over there.
Right.
To gather it. So this pattern interrupt, I want us not to do that because once again, it's claiming who I am. And it's changing a pattern, but it also has other benefits because it changes the sound of my voice.
Has anybody ever said this to you, that it's exhausting?
Oh, well, all the time.
Okay. Just as long as I wasn't like the rare few of like, this is so tiring.
Roger Goodell is the commissioner of the National Football League. We'd been working a couple of months and came in for a lesson one day and he asked, is my lower back supposed to hurt? And I said, I guess so. And the point being, this is a very fit man who works out vigorously all the time, but using these core muscles and being in stature got his attention.
Right.
And this is intense. There is no question about it. But my responsibility is to the work, capital W work, the big work. And before we go, because I know we probably have to wrap up in a moment, write down the seventh ritual, please. Be myself. And I presume you wrote 2 words, be myself.
Yes.
Now write it as it's actually intended. It's 3 words. Be myself, and self begins with a capital S. Do they look any different in terms of meaning?
Yes.
That's this work. That's the sovereignty, the sense of excellence that we aspire to embody. So we go into our practice space on our mirror or with our video camera on, or we record that conference call. We record that PowerPoint presentation, that keynote, and we go back and study. It's game film. What's the football player doing on the bench in between plays? Looking at video, looking at photographs. Then they go back out and play based on this information. So here we want to become as objective as possible about, oh, that's what I sound like. Ooh, I don't like that. Oh, that sounded good. I noticed I breathed there. ... So this game film technique is really, really important. And I already know you will do this because you are a young man who truly aspires to excellence. You strive to walk your talk, not just babble about it. And it's quite apparent. And so those who follow your movement, trust me that you're being led by someone who is deeply committed to this. So it's really nice to experience, Justin.
Yeah, thank you. That means so much, coming from you and just hearing that, but this is the one of the, sorry, this is, so by the way, he's still directing me because I keep looking away as I collect my thoughts. But, this is an odd transition for me because I usually do the guiding of the conversation. I usually take people to the end point. And as we come to the end, I usually wrap up with 5 rapid fire questions. But before we get there, how do people get a hold of you? How do they work with you? What's all that magic?
My website is vocalawareness.com. They can write to it, and my support team gets me the email. I respond to every single one of them. Would you share this offering that we're making only to your followers?
Yes. So you can go to vocalawareness.com/growth now. And there's a bunch of free information there. coaching, some information from Arthur, and then you can sign up to work with him through his courses.
But also, I'm offering what you were doing when you annotated your sentence is a technique. A lot of vocal awareness is trademarked. Empowerment through voice is trademarked, ... One other piece is that's trademarked is visceral language. You were learning to make voice visual. So this is a course that I'm personally teaching that we are offering at a 50% discount just to the Growth Now movement. And I do this because my vision is to change the world through voice. So I'm deeply so committed to it that I make this offer because the work works. It's really important that people understand the paradigmatic shift that is vocal awareness. So I encourage them to take advantage of this opportunity. So it's me teaching this work one-on-one with you and showing you how to do what I was just doing with you, Justin. It's invaluable.
Yeah. And, as somebody who is a visual learner, you walking me through that process was a game changer for me to see exactly what it was that I was supposed to be doing with the emphasis on the right words, when to breathe, when to pause. It was a game changer just in that exercise was probably 45 seconds, a minute long, if not 2 minutes long. And so I can't even imagine with more time what you could do with that.
Or what you could do with that.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you can tell, I'm actually, as I'm talking right now, I'm thinking about what it would look like written on a page.
Yep.
Crazy.
That's a visceral language. We make voice visual.
I love that. So guys, make sure you go to vocalawareness.com/growth now, get the 50% off. I highly recommend working with Arthur through the process to find your voice and how to be yourself.
Thank you, Justin.
Absolutely. This has been a lot of fun. So let's get into the 5 rapid fire questions. Some are fun, some are serious, but I ask you this, answer within one word or at the most one sentence. Are you ready?
Born.
The first one is, what is your favorite smell?
Isn't it? No, this is my wife's fragrance.
Love that. This is a 2-parter. What's your favorite and your least favorite word?
Mm-hmm. My favorite word might be empowerment. My least favorite word, there are 2 of them probably. That obscene B word often ascribed to women that I never said in my life. And that obscene N word ascribed to African Americans that I never said in my life. They denigrate.
I love that. If you could have dinner with, this is an interesting question to ask you because you've had dinner with some incredible people, but if you could have dinner with anybody living or dead, who would it be? That you haven't had dinner with yet.
Elie Wiesel.
I'm not sure.
He was a Nobel Peace Prize laureate and a Holocaust survivor whom I met one time in my life. And who won the Nobel Peace Prize because here is a human being who lost his entire family in World War II to the Nazis. And his life's mission after that was teaching people how to forgive.
Wow. That's powerful. Really, really powerful. At the end of your life, if you could only be remembered for one sentence, what would that sentence be?
That Arthur fulfilled his vision to change the world through voice.
That's awesome. And obviously this podcast is called the Growth Now Movement. So I wrap up every single episode with this one question. And that is, in your life, what has been your biggest moment of growth?
When my bride, almost 50 years ago, said yes.
Awesome. Love that answer.
The courage it took to ask.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It can be terrifying. But Arthur, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to share this wisdom that you have learned over your lifetime and shared with some of the top people in the world with my audience. And just thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on. God bless. Happy holiday.
You too.
Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Growth Now movement. This is how you can really help me out. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please share it out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff. And let's grow this movement to epic heights. And it's all going to be because of you guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.